Welcome to Time Savers Shorts. You've got just enough time to sit back, neck a cup of tea and enjoy these tips, brought to you by Joe Parry from Windermere St Anne's School.
You pride yourself on being a good practitioner, we know that, and you want your students to really think outside the box. We want them to be stretched and we want them to be independent learners. However, don't put all the pressure on yourself. Save a bit of time by using what's out there in your subject. Maybe some online programmes are useful, or newspapers. And if you're a linguist, you might want to be using newspapers from around the world. If you're a scientist, there's some great journals out there which will extend your pupils' learning without you putting huge amounts of effort in. And geography departments, are you subscribing to National Geographic?
My top tip is to make the most of your CPD, go on as many courses as possible and collect as many resources as possible.
Nikki, you teach an awful lot of our junior classes and very, very successfully, and I know that you use lots of resources to inspire the students. I think with juniors, I feel a bit of a time waster is having to revisit topics again and again to make sure it's there in their minds. Any tips that you have on not wasting time going over subject matter again and again?
Yeah, well, I teach science, and what you tend to find is that you always have these children that come in and they just are not enthusiastic about science, and I think that early on it's really important to enthuse those children, and I do feel like lively lessons, the use of drama, we do singing and dancing in our lessons, making up songs to remember things, for example the reactivity series, and I have children coming to me in year 10 and singing those songs to me, and I think that if we can ingrain into them that fun but the learning at the same time, then ultimately it will be remembered and it will save time over the long term for the teacher as well.
Not just for you, but for those of us who teach the science at the top end. I know that teaching children that you've taught, that they've got that in their heads.
Yeah.
The one thing that's said about you at school is how very different and exciting your lessons are. Any resources that you use that save you time? Because you clearly plan your lessons really, really carefully, but...
Yeah, I think there's a lot of information out there on the internet, and it would be silly not to use that, because there's some great academic people out there who have put together some excellent resources, and I think I tend to choose more theme-based activities because, again, it just gets the interest level up of the children, and there's loads of things out there that you can pluck off the internet, but actually they make fantastic lessons, and if you feel that you need to tweak them a little bit to make them go with what you're teaching, then you can do that as well. And yeah, I think that's a great way of just getting the children excited about what they're learning.
That's fantastic. And do you get the children to do research as part of their science curriculum?
Yeah. Obviously, we do an assessment within our lessons and out of the lessons, but what we tend to do for homework tasks is I will ask them to go away and research maybe why are polar bears endangered, and by, again, just including that theme, we can get them to go away and research things which they're interested in, and then when it comes back to the assessment within the lesson, that understanding is there in the background rather than just factual recall.
So you're saving time because they've done the work before time. I quite like to call homework prep because I do believe it should be preparation for the next lesson, and I think that does save you time. The other one that's a good tip, Nikki, is if you've got a subject that they're researching, get them to go away and research it and then get them to present it back to the class, because actually they're doing a bit of your planning for you, but they're learning great skills from presenting skills and putting together a worksheet. And one thing little ones really love doing is marking their peers' preps. They feel quite grown up about that.
Yeah.
That's another one that saves you huge amounts of time.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.